Good morning, Monday 1st of July. So a week ago today, as you'd have seen in the previous video, we put together the second parent set. Eggs of those hatched over the course of Saturday. And as I suspected, I don't think there's very many. There's far too many unfertilized eggs. And then there was a really rather lot of fungus occurred on those unfertilized eggs as well. We've taken the spawning ropes out of the paddling pool net, and we're going to have a count up of what's in there in a short while. Assessment of what to do with those. Possibility that depending on how many there are, we make another little holding net up, and they can come in here and float on the surface in here to grow for a while, and then see what's what with those. So it's kind of a disappointment, big disappointment. Last week it was amazing how quickly they spawn, and someone suggested, oh, you need 2 or 3 males in there, and as anybody that's followed the sequence of these spawnings is aware that I didn't have 2 or 3 males available for each female. Unfortunately, a couple of males that we'd hoped we'd had didn't come or turn out to be that way, which is why we've had one. And I know it's pushing the abilities of one little male to fertilize a lot of eggs. So very much aware of that. Thank you. That we should really be putting 2 or 3, or ideally putting 2 or 3 males per female. But it's just not what we have, and we don't need a huge batch of eggs as well. We never need. Somebody else mentioned why don't we do artificial spawning and get a higher fertilization rate. And the simple fact is, I don't need a full complement of fertilized eggs per female. We just don't have the space to look after them. So I'm still content by putting the 1 male with the 1 female. Unfortunately, in this situation, whether it was an incompatibility of eggs and the male, or what, I don't really know. It may have been the eggs just weren't particularly good. That's the fact we will never know at this point in time. She may get used again next year. We'll see what happens in that respect. Anyway, on a bright note, I say the fish. Did I mention the fry from the selection on Friday in the net behind me? They're doing great. The water condition is absolutely perfect now, which is good, and they're feeding really well as well. Another food, I think I've mentioned this food before, brine shrimp flake from ZM Systems as well. The reason I started to use that was because I was concerned that the granular food was perhaps going down to the bottom a little bit too quickly. I'm still not 100% sure whether I like the flake. Even on the ZM website, when it's promoting the granular food, it talks about the fact it's not as messy as flake. And the flake's fine as long as it gets eaten quickly. If not, it just sinks to the bottom, where it seems to attract very little interest from the fish. But I'll keep trying that. They get a little bit of that, a little bit of the granular food. But they're feeding well, and they're enjoying life, it seems, at the moment with their newfound space that they have. So hopefully they'll grow well over the next couple of weeks. We're going to get on with sorting through these fry and then outside in the paddling pool. And once we've done that, we'll have a chat and talk about what we're going to do further on. Having pulled the net in halfway or so, the good news is I'm pleasantly surprised with the number of fry that have revealed themselves. Probably can't see anything in that respect on the video, but plenty of tiny fry swimming around, so pleasing number. Also lots of mosquito larvae, which seems to take a liking to the baby fry as well. So I'm currently scooping those out when I see them. I can't see a thing on the video screen in the sunshine. You can see there, I can see a fry swimming through, but I was actually shooting at the fungus eggs, big clump of fungus eggs there on the side. It's the same clump of eggs which we looked at when the spawning was taking place on this side of the net, I think. But very much went bad and got covered in fungus. So pretty quickly want to get the fry out of this netting and get this net cleaned up. So here you see a few of the tiny fry. The bottom of this bowl is what, maybe 3 inches. Gives you an idea how tiny the fry are. Black fry and white fry, I mentioned earlier in previous videos. So I fully intended to do Curaco selection with these fry. So just keeping the black babies, but given the number, we may as well probably keep everything. A decision easily made by the fact I hate doing Curaco selection at the best of times. So these are being fed now. This first early feed of the ZM100 fry food. Doing a little bit of that over the 24 hours until we'll move them tomorrow, making a decision exactly what I'm going to do. But for now, pop these back in the net with hopefully what will amount to a few thousand of their brothers and sisters. Okay, it's about 6:30 now, 6:30 p.m. and it seems a long while ago I started the introduction to this video this morning. Been one of those good days. As I said earlier, I had no idea how many fry there were going to be in the paddling pool outside. Far more than I expected. I'm not going to try and put a number on it at this stage. I've made a circular net up. Very similar to the Norfine one, but this is made with just nylon net curtain, smaller, finer mesh than the one the Norfine Nets is made with. This one is slightly larger, about 1 metre in diameter as well, which now contains as many of the fry as could possibly catch from the net outside. And they're in here now where they will stay for the foreseeable future at least. And we'll grow them for a little bit before I do any time. It's fairly easy to get them out of there and do an assessment in a couple of weeks' time as to where the numbers are with those. Disappointment of that spawning. The real disappointment, I suppose, has to be the amount of fungus that attacked the eggs, and even more so when I was scraping the fungus eggs off the bottom of the net, and you'd find clumps of eggs or fry that had hatched and presumably being just captured within the overall mass of fungus and dead eggs on top of them. So that was real disappointing. Kind of racking our brains to try and think of what the difference this time compared to the first time. They were treated with malachite green exactly the same as the first spawning, and the first spawning showed no evidence of, or no real signs of fungus on the eggs whatsoever, even the dead eggs. My hunch probably is that there was more movement of water around the outside of the net when it was in the tank behind me after the first spawning, and that enabled obviously fresh water and air to get around the eggs, and whereas outside there was just air stones running inside the net, which meant the stuff that was sitting on the bottom had very little water flow around it. And also we had incredibly warm weather over the course of the last week when those eggs have been outside incubating, hatching as well. So that's kind of where I'm thinking it's probably a water flow issue, I think, and not enough movement of water, oxygenated water over those eggs. So next time we use that net for spawning, I'm now hoping to get it set up with the original female that we tried to use 6 weeks or so ago, to see if we can finally get her to spawn and get the smegs off of her. So then, I'm going to have an example or samples from 3 different females here, so that should be interesting, and all with the same male, so we will know what the male puts into those fish, and see what the female contributes as well. So next time that net's used, by then the filtration system will be running anyway, So that will obviously make movement outside of the net, and I think I'll raise the net more off the bottom, make sure it hangs off the bottom of the paddling pool as well, so there's flow underneath it, and yeah, hopefully that will solve that problem. Anyway, so good day. Show you a bit more of these, the fry that are in the tank and the fry that are in the net, and that's it for today. Then now a case of just draining and cleaning everything down outside, as they get ready for that next spawning, the third spawning, which 6 weeks ago, 3 spawnings this summer, was never ever on the agenda.